One thing retirement can reveal very quickly is which friendships were tied to the job and which ones were actually built to last outside of it. Because during working life, some of the people you talk to most are the people you see every single day. And after enough years, it's easy to assume that those relationships will continue once work is over. And sometimes they do. A lot of times they don't. I don't think it happens because people are fake. I think it's because work creates constant connection automatically. You see the same people every day. You share routines, you share frustrations, conversations, experiences that you go through together for years. And over time, those relationships start feeling permanent. Then one day, that shared environment disappears. And suddenly the relationship has to survive without the structure that held it together. This definitely catches a lot of people off guard because while you're working, it feels like those relationships exist independently. You laugh together, you know each other's personalities and families, and some coworkers eventually become true lifelong friends. But a lot of those relationships turn out to be deeply connected to proximity and routine. And once those disappear, the relationship often fades too. Not dramatically, more gradually than most people expect, but the calls become less frequent. And eventually some people realize they haven't talked to certain other people in far longer than they've ever imagined. I think retirement changes friendships because work naturally creates repeated interaction without effort. You don't have to plan it. That relationship is built into everyday life. And once that structure disappears, maintaining connections suddenly requires intention and effort. Now somebody has to call. Somebody has to make plans. Somebody has to keep the relationship moving forward. I think a lot of folks are surprised by how quickly some relationships drift once effort becomes necessary. And honestly, I don't even think this is only about retirement. I think adulthood itself makes friendships harder to maintain over time. Let's face it, people move, schedules change, life becomes more isolated, but retirement seems to expose which relationships were built mostly around circumstance and which ones existed beyond the workplace. And that realization can feel heavier than people expect, especially after spending decades around the same group of people. Now, at the same time, I think retirement also gives people an opportunity to build friendships differently. Not based on job titles, meetings, or shared stress, just shared interests, shared values, shared enjoyment of life itself. And in some ways, those relationships may end up feeling even more meaningful because they exist by choice instead of routine. That's one of the hidden transitions after working life ends. You don't just leave the job. Sometimes you slowly leave an entire social world that came with it. Losing the job is one transition. Realizing how much of your social world is attached to it can be another one entirely. If there's a retirement topic you'd like to hear me discuss, let me know in the comments. And if this is the kind of retirement conversation you've been looking for, stick around and subscribe to the channel. We're going to keep this thing going.